Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Salma Shadila. I am here today as the moderator for room 4 in Seminar on English Language Teaching course paper presentations. So the first presenter is myself, Salma Shadila. The second presenter is Mayumi Omita Indasari. The third presenter is Helma Liawati. The fourth presenter is Melita Puan Maharani. The fifth presenter is Dia Salsabila. And the sixth presenter is Adi Manaro Fikri. So to save the time, let's get started to the first presenter to present her paper. Okay, second. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon. My name is Salma Shadila. I am here today to present my paper presentations entitled College Students' Perceptions on Technologies for English Language Learning, Duolingo Applications. So the first content of these presentations is introductions, consists of background of the study and statement of the problem. The next is literature review, consists of framework of thinking and theoretical basis. And the third is methodology, consists of research design, populations and sample, research instruments, data collecting technique, and data analysis technique. The fourth is result and discussions, and the last one is conclusions. And so let's get started to the background of the study. Technology has always played a significant role in the learning and teaching process. It is a crucial component of the job of teachers since they can use it to improve students' learning. According to Clements and Sarama, using the right technological resources can be useful for learners. Teachers can modify classroom activities with the help of technology, which improves language learning. From the outset of planning learning experiences through the teaching and learning process, technology becomes a crucial component of the learning experience and a significant concern for teachers. Applications, games, and the like can provide significant learning and facilitate the teacher's task of stimulating and motivating students to acquire foreign languages in a fun and effective way. One of the applications that can be used for English language learning is Duolingo. Duolingo is a free game-like learning app for learning foreign languages created by Louis von Ahn and Severin Hacker. This application is available in a web versions and is also available in Android, iOS, and Windows Phone versions. Duolingo aims to create a light yet powerful learning experiences for its users. And so from the descriptions above, the researcher is interested in conducting research titled College Students' Perceptions on Technologies for English Language Learning, Duolingo Application. And for the statement of the problem, the first is the role of technology important for college students in English language learning? The second is learning English using the Duolingo applications more interesting for college students? And the third is, does learning English using the Duolingo applications can improve college students' English skills? So the objective of the study is to find out college students' perceptions on technologies for English language learning, the Duolingo applications. So before we get started to the result of the research, I will talk about the theoretical basis that I'm using in the paper. The first is there is language. Language is a set of principles that humans use to communicate. Language is a social tool that humans use to interact with one another. Every language community uses language differently, especially English, due to diverse social contexts and geographic locations. This occurs because different communities have diverse behavior and customs, which might result in language differences between regions. According to Brumfitt, English is a global language and the most widely used form of communications worldwide. Currently, English has become the main media of communications for people in various countries around the world. As the most widely used language in various countries in the world, English is considered the official language for international use. And the next is Duolingo applications. Duolingo is a free game-like learning app for kids uh, created by Luis von N and Severin Hacker. This application is available in web versions and is also available in Android, iOS, and Windows Phone versions. Duolingo is said as the future of language learning and international communications. Duolingo Applications is also a free online language learning site with a mission to help users learn languages as well as use their learning exercises through the web and applications. Duolingo aims to create a light yet powerful learning experience for its user. You can find over 100 total courses in 41 different languages from Spanish, French, German, and Japanese to Navajo and Yiddish, and many more. Duolingo is one of the most popular language learning platforms. It is also the most downloaded educational app in the world with more than 300 million users. So the next is the framework of thinking. English is one of the most important languages to study today. This is due to the fact that English is a universal language that is frequently used for communications in many fields, beginning with business, tourism, and other areas. And technology-based English learning can make it easier for students to learn English language. The Duolingo applications is one of the technology devices that can be used to learn English. Duolingo applications is a technology for learning various languages in the world, including English language. So the methodology that I use, the first is research design. I am using quantitative descriptive method. And the populations and sample in this research is 20 English language learners from Twitter. And the research instrument that I'm using in this research is questionnaire. And the data collecting technique that I'm using is a 4-point scale was used in this research. And for the data analysis techniques, I'm using descriptive analysis in this study. And the next is results and discussions. So the first is the use of technology in English language learning. The researcher gives statements through questionnaire from Google form. The first statement is, I am using technology in English language learning. From 20 respondents, 16 respondents are strongly agree that they are using technology in English language learning. This shows that most college students use technology in their learning activities. Technology is important to the process of globalizations affecting culture, work, and educations. In addition, this also shows that technology has a very important role for college students in learning English. So this can be seen in this table. The role of technology in English language learning is very important. The second statement is the role of technology in English language learning is very important. From 20 respondents, 15 respondents are strongly agree that technology is very important for their English language learning. Technology can help them to learn English more easily. In addition, the impacts that technology has on student achievement are listed by Sandholz as follows. The first is acquiring basic understanding. The second, becoming an adept user of technology. The third is providing students with 21st century abilities. And the fourth is encouraging students to achieve at a higher level. From the statement, we can see that technology has a very important role in learning process for students. And one of the technologies for learning English is the Duolingo applications. Duolingo is a language learning application for mobile devices that combines visual, audio, and questions. Duolingo is an application used by college students to learn English. We can see this in this table. The third statement is English language learning is more interesting by using the Duolingo applications. And from 20 respondents, 15 respondents are agree that Duolingo application is an interesting way for English language learning. Duolingo applications is simple to use since the procedure is straightforward and it can be utilized by people of all ages. This implies that Duolingo applications is easier to use and more exciting, making it a suitable media for language learning activities. This is in line with previous research which shows that students feel satisfied and happy learning language using Duolingo applications. And the last statement is learning by using Duolingo applications helps me improve my English language skills. From 20 respondents, 14 respondents are agreed that learning English with Duolingo applications could increase their language skills. One of the unique features of the Duolingo applications is that if the answer given by the user turns out to be wrong, then the applications will tell where the error lies and show the correct answer. Thus, users can learn from those mistakes to improve their skills. So the conclusions of this research is that in the development of the 21st century era, which can be said to be the era of technology, technology nowadays plays a very important role in our life. And the impact of technology can be felt in all fields, one of which is education. The use of technology can actually have a positive effect on the learning process. The role of technology in learning English is very important. Based on the result of the research that has been described previously, we can see that many college students use technology in their English language learning. They also feel that the role of technology is very important in English language learning. With the existence of technology, it could help them to improve their English skills. Some of the widely used English learning applications are Duolingo, which offers complete English lessons from grammar, vocabularies to listening and speaking. College students feel that learning English using the Duolingo applications is more interesting and can help them improve their English skills. And so the results of this study are expected to provide a certain perspective for teachers or educators in implementing learning technologies such as the Duolingo applications in the process of English language learning. And that's it, the end of my presentations. Thank you so much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And so for the second presentation, please, Mayumi Omita Indasari. Time is yours.
Okay. Can you guys see my screen? How about now?
Iya, udah ada.
Udah.
A little bit struggling. Okay. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, let me introduce myself. My name is Mayumi Omdendasari. My student number is 2223-200073. So in this opportunity today, I would like to explain my research about student perceptions of the impact of Speakball app improving speaking skill. So the content today is about the background of the study, literature review, methodology, risk and discussion, and the conclusion. Okay. For the background of the study, in research, speaking is a fundamental aspect of human communication. It involves the production of meaningful sentences through the mouth. Speaking enables individuals to express themselves in a particular language, emphasizing the importance of speech as a means of linguistic proficiency by Quote 20 and 17. Similarly, Tahir in 2011 emphasizes speaking plays a crucial role in establishing relationship between speakers and listeners within a communication context. However, many language learners experience appreciation and fears when it comes to practicing the speaking skill. Anxiety and fear can hinder speaking performance, and addressing speaking anxiety is crucial for language learners. By example in 2017 and 2011. This fear of speaking can hinder progress and impede the ability to communicate effectively in the target language. So in this study, we focus on investigating student perceptions of the impact of people app improving speaking skill as a means to encourage individuals to communicate and interact with people from around the world. Technology can facilitate speaking practice and provide access to authentic language use through online platform virtual classroom by Hammer 20 and Lesson for and Anderson 11. Okay, for the literature review, speaking. Speaking as an ability to carry out a conversation in a language. Speaking is an active linguistic function for verbal interaction with others by Noonan, 1998. It involves creating full utterance, which are a language and a way to communicate meaning. Speaking is the act of communicating orally with others through the production of the sounds using the vocal organs. Speaking skill, on the other hand, refers to the ability to effectively communicate with others through spoken language. So about the people, with the help of the English Conversation Lab and looking up speak, it's simple to discover language partner and strike up a conversation with complete strangers who are share your hobby and language proficiency. App is language learning application designed to assist students in developing their speaking skills in English. It offers a range of features and tools to allow users to practice and improve their pronunciation, vocabulary, grammar, and conversational skills, interactive active activities, and exercise. So, about the student, generally speaking, a student is a person who is studying at a school or university or has recently left school or university by Oxford Languages. The term student is commonly used to refer to individuals who are enrolled in educational institutions and engage in learning activities, acquire knowledge, skills, and qualifications. So now we are in the statement of the problem. The statement, the state of the problem in this research is what are the advantages of this people app in improving student speaking and how school able to intensify students of in English. So we are in methodologies. In this research, I use phenomenological research. Research design consists for the research will be a phenomenological research design aims to investigate the full through specific phenomenon as expressed by individuals. The participants are the 6 students from English department 6th semester. Okay, this is about the discussion. There are several instruments are used to collect the data. So this data collection was obtained through the Google form. The result presented by the graphic with percentage of the respondent results. For the first instrument, the majority of students feels the right to speak in English. There are 60 age person said yes, and 30% no. It means that a huge number of students do not have enough confidence to speak in English. The results are varied, and the end will show in the next. There are several sections here. For example, I will show if yeah about the fears in speaking English. They said they feel afraid to speak in English due to lack of confidence in language. It is I am worried about making being misunderstood or not sound fluent. These fears of embarrassment of or judgment can hinder my willingness to engage in conversation. The others overly concerned about making errors, fearing that others will judge or perceive me as unintelligent. These fears of being mistaken create anxiety and hinder my speaking abilities. And feel not confident in English and hesitance to speak because they fear being misunderstood and struggling to find the right word. With limited vocabulary or grammar knowledge, may feel afraid to speak in English because they worry about not being able to express themselves accurately, fear not finding the right words, same or using incorrect grammar, which can undermine the confidence and discourage from speaking. And that the same answers about this question. And the instruments as the environment for English. Majority of student environments don't support students speaking English, as data show that 75% of respondents say no and 20% of others yes. It means that students have support from the environment improving their speaking abilities in English. And the next, you need a partner to practice your English. The most respondents yes, 90%, and yet others said no. A tiny percentage of the program about it of having partners in practicing English, especially in the study, focus on speaking abilities. It means that a large percentage of students need peer practice to improve skills in speaking English. Furthermore, communication needs interaction between two people or more. Next, data collection shows that there are no respondents using the Speakball app often. In fact, Indonesian students are rare to use the app. There are 30% using the app occasionally and sometimes, and the others participants have experience in using this app. It infers that the majority of the respondents do not use the Speakball app to practice speaking English on a regular basis. And the next, as using the Speak app influence your attitude towards speaking is based on the data collection. Respondent answered yes, asked whether using the Speak app and had influenced their attitude towards speaking English, while 30% respondent answered no. Um, about how do you Speakball app has improved speaking skills? But research found the majority of respondents feel this Speakball app has moderately improved their English speaking skill. Most respondents choose the number 3 rating, while more portion of the respondents choose 1, 2, and 4. No respondent choose the number 5, which means that Speakball app has not had a significant impact on improving their English speaking skills. And Speakmo app has improved my pronunciation and fluency. Data show that the most respondents feel that Speakmo app has been helpful in improving their pronunciation and fluency at a moderate level, while a small percentage of respondents choose number 1 and 2 as they rate. The majority of respondents choose number 3 and 4. Only a small percentage of the respondents choose the number 5, indicate that Speakmo app has significant help improve English pronunciation fluent. About People app has helped me gain in speaking. So based on the research, only a small percentage of respondents feel that the speaking app has helped them gain confidence speaking English. 80% choosing number 1 and 6% choosing 2. There's Yeah, and the next Speakable app has helped me reduce my fears of speaking, and based on the information above, only a small portion of respondents feel the Speakable app helped me reduce their fears of public speaking. Selecting number. A small portion of a respondent choose number at least, indicating the Speakable app has significantly helped them reduce their fears of public speaking. Okay, that's all the result. And yeah, um, so data I have from the Google Forms related to the research. So now, in conclusion, the result from the investigation is this people app show that this is a tool able to increase student optimism and confidence in English. The app features such as pronunciation feedback, virtual practice were identified as a particularly helpful in improving speaking skills. Additionally, the majority of students report a impact on their attitude toward speaking English, which could contribute to further improvement in their language proficiency. However, in Indonesia, I thought that not only a huge number of people using the app because um, I thought that this is not really famous in our surrounding. So yeah, that's all my research. Um, so back to the moderator.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mayumi. So the next presenter is Mariawati, but since she's not present in this room, so we'll go to the next presenter is Melita Puan Maharani. Time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
My name is Melita Puan Maharani, and first of all, for the Honorable Professor Dr. Mr. Shafrizal and friends all, in this occasion, I would like to present about my paper project with the title English Department Students' Perception of Using English Talk Show Videos on YouTube to Improve Their Listening Skill. Okay, for the first is background of study. In the age of information, technology has advanced quickly. The use of technology to learn English has become commonplace. Therefore, the growth of technology has a key role in education, notably in English language teaching. According to Awe Haibi 2015, YouTube is useful in an educational setting. YouTube that will assist students detect vocabulary, contractions, pace, and tempo of speech in addition to improving their listening skill. So in this project, we'll be discuss about that. For the problems in this research, the problem in this study can be summarized as follows. Can watching English videos talk show affect the improvement of students' English listening skill? And for the purpose of this study is to find out how the influence of watching videos talk show in English in improving their listening skill. Next is literature review. The first is learning video media. According to Cepiriana 2007, learning video media is a format that combines audio and visual content with sounds, learning messages that include ideas, practices, and concept for applying information. YouTube. YouTube is a media sharing site which is a type of social media that aids its users to share media and enjoy videos and audio type content. YouTube has become one of the most popular videos watching platform today and is one of the applications widely used by students for the benefit of learning. According to Duffy, YouTube is increasingly being used by instructors as a research for anything from important global events to slice of life. Videos used to teach students in ESL courses. The next is listening ability. The first ability and skill that novice should acquire when learning a new language is listening. Listening is the ability to accurately receive and interpret messages in the communication process. Listening is key to all effective communication. Without the ability to listen effectively, messages are easily misunderstood. As a result, communication breaks down and the sender of the message can easily become frustrated or irritated. And the next is framework of thinking that you can see on the screen. There's an English talk show video, student listening ability. Find out there is an effect in the use of learning media video, English talk show in improving listening skill for students. And there is no effect in the use of learning media video, English talk show in improving listening skill for students. And for the methodology types of research, this research is use qualitative survey in collecting data, analyzing data, and the result found. Qualitative surveys use option selection, question, and opinions about research. The survey was conduct with the help of a Google form questionnaire distributed through online media. That is WhatsApp media. And the population and sample, the population of this research is students of the English department students of Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa University, and the sample of this research is focused on class 6A in English department students of Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa University. The research instrument for data collection, researchers made an online questionnaire using a Google form, which then the link from the Google form was distributed to grade 6A students through WhatsApp media. And this is a finding and results. The research findings were divided into 3 topics. The first is how frequently students access YouTube and whether they watch English talk show videos there. Second, how English department students improve their listening skill using YouTube. And the last is what students have faced difficulties when using YouTube to improve their listening skill. The researchers used the questionnaire to the student about the experience of watching English talk show on YouTube. 26 students participated in the questionnaire and were sampled. The questionnaire consists of 4 questions to know the student who ever watched English talk show videos on YouTube. The first question is whether using YouTube is one of the media for learning English or not. The second question is about how often the student of using YouTube to improve their listening skill. Then for the third question is about how the student improve their listening skills using YouTube as a media to learn. And for the last question is about the difficulties when using YouTube to improve their listening skill. For the first question, so that 25 from 26 questions has response yes. It means that almost all students of 6A use YouTube as one of the media they use to learn English. And connecting to the second questions, show the result that also they often use YouTube to improve their listening skill. For the third questions, there is also a lot of content that used to improve their listening skill. As an example, from respondent has one of my favorite ways to improve my listening skills on YouTube is by watching TAD talks. These talks are delivered by experienced speakers who use clear and concise language, making it easier to follow along and understand the content. And for the other statement, says listening to podcasts and song, watching short movies, video tutorial, and variety show on YouTube. The remarks explained earlier, it shows that there are not only 1 or 2 types of content that students can use to improve their listening skills and so many interesting content can watch. And for the last question, most of them do not find any difficulties in using YouTube. They tend to be happy and enjoy when using YouTube as a platform to improve their listening skill. Some respondents says, I don't think I face any difficulty while using YouTube to improve my listening skills, as most English YouTubers provide subtitles in their content. And the other statement says, none. I thought that YouTube is well known and easy to use. The previous statement concluded that using YouTube as one of the media to learn does not encounter or face difficulties during its use, and they tend to enjoy the platform. The next is conclusion. Based on finding and discussions, it can be concluded that there are demonstrated that most students were watching English video on YouTube. The current research reveals to students' perception toward using English talk show videos on YouTube to improve their listening ability are favorable. The use of YouTube as a learning medium also helped many students to increase the amount of their English vocabulary. In addition, the use of YouTube does not make it difficult to make students enjoy the content provided by YouTube. They can comfortably watch and listen to audio and focus on improving their listening skill. Thank you. That's all my presentation about my project. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Back to the moderator.
Okay, thank you so much, Melita. So the next presenter is Dia Salsabila, but since she's not present as well, we will continue to the next presenter, Adi Manaro Fikri. Time is yours.
Thank you, moderator, for letting me give my presentation. Okay. Is my PPT is correct? Can you see my PPT?
Yes.
Okay. Let's begin for our last presentation, yeah. So I am last for this present. Okay, first of all, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for dear honorable Professor Dr. Safri Jalan for letting us to have finish this project and present it to you. Today's is my project's presentations. The title of my projects is a student preference in face-to-face and online learning, English learning courses. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Adi Manaro Fikri, and I would like to present you about my paper and my project course. Why I would like to choose the student preference? Due to today's situations, we have both of modes of learning in English. Which one is more likely to have the students have more agree or more dislike about how they choose the online mode or the offline mode, or in other hand, face-to-face learning. Okay, first of all, I would like to tell you about the introductions or the background of the study. English is a language. Education is fundamental aspect of educational system worldwide. It is essential for students to have proficiency for both personal and professional growth. The emergence of technology has revolutionized the way of education delivered. As I say before, in Indonesia, it has alternative ways, which is online learning, is increasing by adopted by educational institution as model of instructions. According to Abel 2016, Levin 2019, and other. While online learning has its advantages, it is also crucial to understand how the student perceive or more likely to have their own thinking about these modes in face-to-face learning process versus online instructions to create effective and engaging learning experience for them. As a result, the purpose of this study is to look out the student preference in both traditional and virtual English learning classes. Okay, that's the introduction. The first one is educational modes. We also say about traditional or virtual. The second one is student preference. They likely or disagree about which one, and pro and cons about these modes. Okay, the statement of the problem of the study is discuss the issue of student preference toward online learning and face-to-face learning in the context of the grade certifications. Would like to, before to have methods and results, I would like to give you about the relevant literature that I use in this study. The first of all, the face-to-face learning, or also called traditional learning. Traditional learning, also known as for millennia, has been the main style of the education. In this mode of learning, students attend classes in physical classroom setting and receive instruction from the teacher or lecturer. Many students have explored advantages of face-to-face learning, including increased motivations, improved students and teacher relationship, or you can also call active participations, and better engagement with the course material, according to Haruna and others. While the other hand, online learning, with advent of technology, a new mode learning has emerged, also known as online education learning. Students may practically attend classes from anywhere in the globe, thanks to online learning using technology to communicate with instructor and their classmates. Online learning has been shown that can lead better outcomes in terms of student achievement and certifications. Okay, method. This research conducting aim to explore students' preference in face-to-face and online learning, English learning, in terms of their advantages and disadvantages. It is essential to understand the factor that influence student preference as it helps to designing effective learning environment for the students. The researcher will use a qualitative data collection methods. As stated from Creswell 2012, data qualitative research effort from non-numerical data since it explores phenomena from a certain perspective. Qualitative research is based approach in order to learn more about the preference of subject and the environment is fine. The responder for this study were 20 undergraduate students at Universitas Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa who were enrolled in English department courses. All of them given by 10 questionnaires and about 10 interview about their preference and influenced by the factors such as learning style, advantages, and the access of technology. Next, we are going to move forward about the framework of thinking. As you can see about this, the first one is about how the students interact with modern modes or learning process and traditional modes offline process. And this process progress about the pros and cons, and this is about the result. Okay, let's move on the finding of the study. The researcher compiled database on the responses to the questionnaires provided to 20 undergraduate students. The research used Google Form to distribute a questionnaire, sharing link via WhatsApp before giving up to 20 participants on Tuesday, May 2 and 2022. The purpose of the study was to determine preference student for both online or offline English learning program. About the student preference, based on the data through the questionnaire, as the result of questionnaire with 10 questions item that given to the tentative participant, it may argue that the participants were enthusiastic about studying conventional, which means face-to-face learning, also known face-to-face learning, than using online. This evidence from the questionnaire statement say that 75% students prefer utilizing student traditional classroom for the setting of English courses, and 20% students choose online learning, while 5% do not have preference at all. Discussions based on the finding of the interview, 90% students got higher score in their grade in face-to-face learning classroom than online learning. They said study in classroom are more focused to have deeper understanding about material, and they were like to real conversation with lecturer and peers, which mean it argued that they need a strong argument or active participant in a real physical interaction with offline learning. The students who prefer online learning, according to the interview, they were benefits such as convenience to access the material and organize a meeting anywhere, whenever, and it's so flexible. However, the downside is they not tend to understand as good as offline meeting classes, and their grade might be slightly lower. According to the data, giving to advantages and disadvantages, this one is about the advantages and the disadvantages of offline learning. The advantage is improved comprehension, argumentation fluency. The student will easy to understand material with face-to-face learning, and they will not have a problem such as bad connections in discussion topic because it's interact between each other. They could talk and conversation with their peers and their lecturer. Focus in class. The student will more focus in their class because they have to interact. Communication is important in this classroom, and interaction with peer and instruction. This also is advantages for offline learning or conventional learning, and less distractions. They will not have a very good distractions because they have time to focus. Okay. For the advantages, is it convenience for the schedule because the schedule is very fixed before 2 or maybe a week ago before meeting started, and anxiety. This also, the students, according to the interview, they have an anxiety because they tend to in near 2 years they have to online learning. If they have to offline learning, they have an anxiety. How to I interact with each other? How to I react to my lecturer? How to react I in physical reactions, etc. This also become disadvantages. Let's move on the online activity. The advantages is here is accessibility. The students mention how convenient it to their work at their own pace and location. They certainly like if I could be online, I could be doing it in bed. I could be doing it anywhere. I can do it in cafe, I could do it in the road, or maybe I can do it while I'm sleeping. More time to sleep, more time to think. They, if they given material, they could have more time to think because the material is very direct, and they could access from Google. Easy to access the course material. This also become online activity, online learning advantages because all the material is always there in the internet. Or the SPADA, this lecturer is giving to the SPADA, and The students just have to download it. Disadvantages for the online learning. It's a regular schedule. Sometimes, according to the interview, the students may have canceled the meeting because sometimes the lecturer have some important small text or others situations, and they cannot be meeting there. So they have to change the schedule. The second is less focus because in according to the interview, they have less focus because it is online learning. You can anywhere and everywhere to attend them. So it is more likely have more distractions, short understanding about the material because we have less focus. So the understanding about the material sometimes is not very deep, and the students tends to more not understand at all the material that given by his lecturer and their friends. Less interactions because someone is speaking and someone everybody is listening. Bad connection. This also become a disadvantage because in Indonesia, we have not a good bandwidth connections. Sometimes we have to given in uh, very not good connection and situations. In conclusions of this study, inclusion both conventional and online learning offer benefit from and drawbacks. The student must choose the learning style that best fit their requirement and interest. Online learning is going to become more common as technology develops. It is not arguable, but it also critical to acknowledge that importance of conventional learning to figure out how to best integrate it with online learning for the best benefit of its students. Based on the data above, they can conclude that students in learning English course are preferred in face-to-face learning mode. There are several factors that leads to this statement, including more focus during the class, deeper understanding, and interaction with their peers and instruction. While the online learning is more about convenience and to access anywhere and anytime, online learning course you can easily have a take makeup class and join them anywhere and whatever you want. They could be have a long time to think to answer about the assignment and make the material more detailed. So thank you very much for that is that is my presentation. Thank you very much for your listening. Back to the moderator.
Okay, so that's the end of our paper presentations. We hope that the information we present to you would give you more knowledge. And thank you so much for attending this breakout room, and thank you for your attentions as well. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Great.